The Seeburg M100C that we just finished repairing it. Some of the things we had to do were to clean the contacts here and adjust these contacts to make sure that everything canceled properly. And that's about all we had to do on this. We adjusted the clutch, we adjusted the needle to make sure that it would actually pick up a record and continue to play it when it got to a record, because sometimes it would just go ahead and instantly reject it, and that's usually caused by a problem with the clutch. Here's the keyboard. We sprayed the contacts on the keyboard here, make sure that it was clean. So we got all the selections working properly. Okay, here's the fold-down panel on the back of the Seeburg. This whole thing lifts up out of here so that you can take it to the workbench and work on it. These individual components each come out too. This is the wired selection receiver, or the control center for the unit. And here's the credit unit. This decrements credits, so if you keeps track of how many credits you put in with coins. Every time a record is played, a little wheel moves and takes one credit away. But here we've got a switch set up to give it credits, but even if you're not using coins, it still has to work properly, or you can't make selections. So we had to take this out and completely clean it. We soaked it in Varsol and reassembled it. And then we had to replace some capacitors here. We checked all the tubes were good. We put in a new ballast. There was bad wiring on the old ballast, and those things get hot, so it's frequently a problem with just brittle wiring on those old hot components. And we redid the wiring to the lamps here. It's got some retrofitted color cylinders in it that were put in, and we just made sure the wiring was good going to those. We put a grounded power cord on it, and with that, every electrical component in here needs to be connected together and connected to ground so that there's not a voltage difference from one thing to the next. So here you can see there are ground wires that go to any component that has electrical voltage in it, like here going to the speaker or to the ballast or to the mechanism. Let me go ahead and fold up the tray here. You can see what we did on the back of it. We replaced the capacitors here. Some of them had been replaced, but we went ahead and put some new ones in. Some places we put a little bit increased capacitance for better bass response, and we replaced the old electrolytic capacitors with new ones. And then over here we put new capacitors in. This had old paper capacitors in it in the control unit. Put a new rectifier in there with a fuse to protect it and to protect the transformer in case of a short circuit. And that's about everything we did here. We cleaned the controls and tested the tubes. So another thing here, one more thing to tell about this, there's a bunch of contacts up here that get activated when a selection is made. And so we cleaned all these just to make sure everything was working properly. Sometimes you get a selection that it wouldn't, you press a button and nothing would happen. We had to do a little lubrication on some of these moving contact fingers here too, or these little solenoid activated contacts, to make sure every selection would play. So we had to do a lot of work on this, but the result is something that really seems to work well and can even play a modern record properly.